So picture this. You're at a comedy show in a theater. You're watching a comedian that you like. He's doing his craft, the arts. And then you start hearing the cry of a baby. And you look to your left, and down there near the stage in one of the seats is a mother with her baby. And she's breastfeeding it to try to calm it, to try to calm it down. It again. Comedian gets a little agitated, makes a few jokes. The baby keeps making noises, interrupting the theater that had 700 people. Eventually, comedian says, "Hey, can you please leave?" He says it in a way that's a little bit jokey. Lady doesn't understand if it's a joke or not. Some people in the crowd say, "Get the fuck out of here." Eventually, she gets escorted out. But then some other people that were with her leave. And then some other women in the theater leave, sort of in support. Is the comedian the asshole? This happened in Australia. Comedian named Arch Barker. Quite a surprise when I heard the name. One of my, I hate saying, one of my favorite, like a comedian that I really liked back in the day. But he just kind of went off the charts. He moved from US to Australia. And then I guess he just does so well over there that he doesn't leave, you know. If you live in Australia, you're like in the other side of the planet. You know, it's got to be cool, right? Because people over there, like, you never hear anything of them. But they seem to be having a pretty cool time. But anyways, this guy is now being, not canceled, but people, you know, were sort of outraged by the situation. I just want to get it out of the way because I think it will make the debate a little bit easier. The part where there's men screaming, "Get the fuck out of here," and shit like that, that's stupid, and those are retarded men, right? Like, that's, like, I mean, regardless if this woman is doing something that shouldn't be done, like, you don't scream and disrespect anybody like that. And so, yeah, I mean, that part, irrelevant. We don't need to touch on that because that's obvious. I mean, the quick one here, I mean, he even says it, like, my shows are only allowed for 15 and over. Why did the theater allow a baby? I don't know if they did it in a way of like, oh, you know, let's be inclusive. So, but I want to ask you, because you have a baby and you have gone to concerts with a baby. And I want to get your opinion on this because it is different. You don't have the issue in a concert of the sound. You know, the baby's not going to interrupt the concert. So obviously it's different, but I don't know. I think it's relevant that you have gone to concerts with your baby, and yeah, in this context, especially stand-up comedy, like, what the fuck? I mean, what is the theater doing by allowing them in? But also, what the fuck are you thinking of going to a comedy show with a baby?
It's nuts. It's nuts because you don't, at the comedy show, it's one person. There's no music behind it, so there's nothing to hide the sound or the cry, right? I'm in support of this artist, this comedian. I mean, you shouldn't be allowing kids to go into shows, but here at concerts, they allow you to bring your kid because I guess they understand that, you know, kids, they're not paying for the show, for the ticket. So until I think it's 2 or 3, they get to go in for free at the venue. But they understand that, you know, the baby's not going to interrupt the act. And even more so in a big arena where, you know, most of these concerts go on, one baby's not going to disrupt it.
Otherwise, Post Malone is gonna throw a fucking water bottle at it. Oh, but quick thing: when you say that you can take your kid in for free, does this mean a kid like an 8-year-old, or does this only apply to a baby?
It applies to babies. I think it's for free until they're 2, either 2 or 3.
And then after that, they can come in, but you pay for them, or they cannot come in.
But you pay the full ticket. No, they can still come in, but you pay full price for it.
Now that you just opened up the options here, for me, I mean, I wouldn't allow any fucking kid, but I much rather you come in with your baby 2 year or younger than you come in with like a 7 year old.
Who's not gonna be?
Because this is the thing. If you have a baby, okay, you're gonna watch Metallica and you're gonna have your baby wrapped around you because you gotta carry the motherfucker the whole night. That baby is not gonna annoy anyone.
Maybe
Right?
the
That
people around you.
why? I mean, why? He's gonna cry? He's gonna cry louder than fucking Metallica? So close no matter how far. I mean, it's I don't think it's an annoyance. I mean, aside from seeing the baby, which by all means I think is annoying. If I have to see your baby, you're already like so I think that's almost like an abuse. Like it's almost like an attack. Like now I have to look at your baby. Right? So I mean, yes. But in general terms, like the baby's not really doing any issues. But if you have a 6 year old, a 7 year old, maybe I'm getting the wrong age. Which one is the worst? When they're fucking running around everything, they don't respect, they break shit, they're agile enough to climb onto shit,
I think that's the age 6, 7.
right? Like I don't think you should allow that in a concert.
No, there's a lot of comedy clubs that won't allow anyone under 18 to come in or anyone under 21 to come in
Yeah.
because
No babies.
language or alcohol or substance abuse.
And this is something that I'm going to understand when I have a baby. When I have a baby, I will stop doing the remaining social activities that I still do. And that will be like a closing cycle. Like after this, boom, now I'm raising this little fucker for 18 years. And I'll take that seriously. And I will remind him when he's able to understand. These
had
are
to
the
stop my life
things
for
these
you.
are the things that I'm not doing so that I can rear you. So make the most of it, you little shit. And I'm gonna speak to it like that. And when I say I'm gonna speak to it, people might say, "Why are you calling it an it?" Well, because I don't want to misgender it. I don't know what gender this guy's gonna be. I don't know what gender he's gonna wanna fuck. And we're gonna be cool with it, me and his mom.
I find it funny that, well, it's not funny. I find it interesting that they did an interview to the mom in Australia, and she was like very, very defensive of her actions. And Arch, Arch Barker, the comedian, he took out a statement, and he's like, "This lady is very entitled."
Can you read the statement? Do you have it?
I do. It's quite long, but
Really? Okay, please read it.
it's been a minute since I read. So
If you fuck it up, that it's gonna really hurt the metrics.
yeah, yeah. It just says Babygate. Let's clear the air.
Babygate. Oh, Babygate. Okay, okay.
I just started my show at whatever in
Damn,
Melbourne.
he already fucked
I
it
already
up.
fucked it up. In
God
Melbourne,
damn it. Okay, start
Australia.
again. Start again.
Babygate. Let's clear the air. I had just started my show last Saturday night in Melbourne. Melbourne. The Athenaeum was pretty full, and everybody seemed to be in a great mood. Then I heard a baby cry, not crying but talking as they do. A few rows from the stage, I made a few jokes about the baby, not disrupting my show, and they were well received. And then moved on. A few minutes later, the baby cried again, and now I was quite concerned. In my experience of doing comedy for nearly 35 years, an audience focus is a delight thing. If a noise or a movement distracts people mid-joke, the payoff can be greatly diminished. So he's basically saying that he wants the people to be fully focused on what he's saying, because you can throw off the timing of the joke and the joke as a whole. At this point, with about 50 minutes of show left, I made a difficult decision. I then calmly informed the woman holding the baby that the baby couldn't stay. And I felt bad doing so and stated that this is the first time that this at the time, as well as several times in blah, blah, blah. Anyways, he asked her to leave. He's like, bitch, get the fuck out. Because you're disrupting my act. Also, he it seems like he offered to get her a full refund of the ticket. So that's a pretty nice gesture for the mom and the baby and the people who was accompanying them. I want to be clear that this was very tough call, and which I made on behalf of the other 700 people or so in the audience members who deserve to see the show they paid for uninterrupted. Keeps on going that the show is strictly for audiences 15 plus. The theater should have flagged this before the sitting, but for some reason they didn't. Yeah, there's more to it. It's just pretty long.
Okay. I think you did well. I think
I know how to
people.
read.
No, I mean,
I mean, I went to college for a little bit.
no, but I don't mean the reading. I mean, the informing it, like, putting it in a cute and nice way, and your opinions, about it. No, I fully agree with you. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you, man? What is wrong with people? How the fuck you take a baby to a stand-up show? To me, it's just unfathomable. Like, I don't understand how the theater allowed it, and I think it has to be like one of these like bullshits with the wave of wokeism, where like, oh, you're not gonna allow me in because I have a baby? Are you baby phobe? Like, no, bitch, this is a fucking show, bro. Like, I mean, I've never been, but if you go to like opera, right, like to see like theater, right? If you go see Hamilton,
I
um,
think I
I
think
mean,
you should know. You should have the sense, the feeling of where can I take the kid?
yeah, like a park across the street. Okay, cool.
Sounds like a good, reasonable place.
A stand-up comedy. Okay, like let me give you a little experience I had. A few months back, I was with some family here in Spain, and then we decided to have a family trip to Granada, which is a city in Spain, right? Granada. If you're Stephanie, it would be Granada. If you're Wilmer from La Guaira, then it's Granada. And this is a very picturesque, very nice place. And we go to see a classical flamenco show. And I booked it right for the family. It was like 14 of us. And I'm already thinking like, my cousin has a baby, right? So how the fuck are we gonna go to a flamenco show? But I called, I told them how many we were, and they were like, I mean, we don't really do it, but we'll make an exception. Just, keep the baby in check, give him, a few whiskey shots before. It's Spain. It's a little more lax. And we went, and I was kind of nervous because I was like, man, if this motherfucker starts.
But will you be embarrassed or will the parents be embarrassed?
This is the thing. I'm embarrassed for them because that's the type of person I am. I have this extra awareness that hinders me and fucks me. So because I'm like, damn, that's kind of like I booked this thing. So then,
So I wanna tell you. I don't know if I told you when it happens, but I want to tell you now that when I was in Spain and me and my family went to Seville for Stephanie.
Seville.
Or
Sevilla.
for Wilma, Sevilla.
Okay.
My family and I, meaning my soon-to-be wife, my baby, and myself, we went to a flamenco show. And we did the same. We called. They're like, he's good. He can come in. Keep him in check.
Right.
But he can come in. So the show, I think it was like an hour long, maybe 45 minutes. I don't remember. But hey, the kid was quiet. The mom was making more noise than the kid. So
Right.
I'm very proud of that. but
Right.
also I had to give him the YouTube. You know, I had to give him like some screen time so he could be quiet for 45 minutes to an hour, which it helped. I mean, I'm proud of that, but I'm also not super proud of the screen time that
Well, I
he
mean, you could do what you did, or you could not go to the show. So I mean,
right. And it's going back a little bit to the beginning where I don't want to stop, or I don't have to stop my life because I have a kid. You know, if it's a place where it's okay for him to go, like in this case, this show, the flamenco show, then I will do my best for the kid to be in check and not to disturb others around us. Because it's only fair, right? There's also people
right.
paying money for it and they want to enjoy their time,
I I
which that I
think
understand.
I think that if it's people like you and many others that I know, then it's cool. It's shitty when it's parents that are completely unaware of things. Because this is the thing. Like now that I have friends and family members with kids, I kind of have to put up with the thing. You know,
Yeah.
so I've had to learn to enjoy that life too, right? I mean, look at me. I mean, I know you look at me, you're like, damn, you look quite cute. I like the haircut. You're looking cutesy, right? But I can see the white hair in your beard. Does it make you look sexier? And does it make me think about a fetish about my dad when we were young? Yes. But it is me getting older, right? So at the end of the
Mm.
day, I mean, I gotta get used to like doing activities with people that have kids, right? And I've grown accustomed to it. I'm pretty good at it now. But it is true that there has to be sort of like a compromise. Meaning, I go out with you, right? And we're going to put up with a little bit more organization because there's a kid. And then the people around are going to be like, okay, I'll be accommodating because you have a kid. But then when things get chaotic, you solve the situation, right? Because I think that's how I would do it. Like, hey, this is not a stand-up show, it's a flamenco. I'll be with my kid. As soon as this little fucker starts going crazy, I'll leave for the moment. So like, and I'm like cool with that because flamenco is loud enough that you can kind of have a kid with you, and then if he starts getting annoying, then you can take him out. But I would never take a kid to a stand-up show. I mean, also, I don't think that's the crowd. I mean, not that the people there are not gonna be cool in a theater. It's pretty decent. It's not like a bar. But like, I just don't understand it, man. Like, look, when you have kids, there's certain activities where you're gonna have to get a babysitter or a family member. I mean, that's the only way. You can't just take your kid everywhere and fuck everybody else. There's another thing to this which I wanted to ask you about because she was also breastfeeding the kid. And I know this is controversial, right? Because now there's like a wave of like, oh, I breastfeed my kid, whatever the fuck. Why you don't like it? What? What you don't like it? What? Come here, watch it. I want you to watch it. And I'm cool with it. Like, I don't know what it is to go through that process. And now I've learned a bit more that sometimes you can't control when that thing works and it doesn't. So you kind of have to. So I'm cool. Like, but I kind of find it annoying when people like idolize it in a way. Like we don't have to speak about it. Like, just do it. That's it. But you don't have to like, I don't know, promote it. Like if it's this, fucking flagship movement. You know what I mean? And now can you now if you're in a comedy show, nah, maybe this is gonna be the part where people don't like me. Can you wait until you leave the comedy show? I mean, you're not in a fucking park bench.
Fuck. It's a
Now
tough
you have
one.
a kid. You know how the lactancy world works a little bit. Am I too strict here? Am I being too unaware of how the world works, or am I being a little bit, conscious?
I think it's a hard one to answer because most of the times the kid just wants to soothe, he wants to calm the fuck down. So he wants to boob. He wants to suck on the nipple. So he calms down. I mean, yeah, he feeds from it, but it also soothes him and makes him calmer.
Oh,
So
So if anything, this lady could have been trying to calm the little
right.
fucker.
Maybe
Okay.
she was doing her best to like,
Damn, you see how unaware I was. Now you tell me, and I'm like, damn, I'm wrong there. I accept it.
and it works in like I would say 95% of the time it works. Where if he's crying, he starts breastfeeding and he calms the fuck down. Maybe he falls asleep. So I mean, she wasn't wrong. I think. Let's start from the beginning. She was wrong for bringing the baby to
Right,
the theater. She was wrong on that.
right. Now,
Now,
once there, you're not wrong for taking a titty out.
right. Right.
Right.
She made the mistake and she was trying to make it better by popping the titty out.
No, and I get it, right? Like men are so basic and simple. That's like if I'm pissed off and they just throw a titty at me,
I would
I'm
would
like,
sue.
okay, let's, I'll let the comedy man speak. So if anything, she was trying to redeem the situation.
Yeah. So
She was putting out both tits, like, hey, just have them all, like, can you shut the fuck up?
well the funny thing is that most of the times when the baby's having one, most of the times he wants the other one. So you have to
Oh,
switch.
Okay,
Pop
I
both
like
titties
it.
out.
I like it. I'm
But
getting hard now.
There's times for everything, and I don't think this was the right time for this.
Although it might seem that it's always the time for a titty or a double titty, it is true that there's times when maybe it isn't, the best.
Right.
Now, this is what I think could have happened. Let's say that you're bold enough to go to this fucking show with your baby. At least having your mind a plan. Like, look, I'm going to have the kid. I'm going to do the things that I normally do to keep him quiet because, I don't know, I lost a babysitter. I haven't gone to a comedy show in years and I really need this. Or I'm going to call, my boy Jairo, buy some methamphetamines and relapse. Right? So maybe this comedy show can save my life. You know how like artists and comedians have people that send them messages like, bro, your show saved my life, You know these people that should be in like insane asylums, right? So let's say this lady needed this show, right? She really needed to go to this show to fucking live, right? To really live. She takes the kid, I give him the nipple, and if he starts crying, then I try to calm him down. He continues to. I'll get up. I know he's going to make a scene anyways. The guy will make a joke as he did because he made multiple jokes along the night. And I would have gotten it like, hey, my bad. I fucked this up. I'm out. And the comedian could have sort of made a joke about it. It was part of the night. And I continue my show. It's still a fuck up for going in the first place. But at least you have an escape plan. It's like, look, as soon as as soon as the kid starts, I'm sorry, I keep being a little hostile here. I have no problem with the offsprings, okay? As soon as the little thing, as soon as the omen starts annoying the people, then I leave. But she didn't even do that. She made it a scene. Well, I don't know if she made it a scene, but people left with her. Then other people left. And it's unfortunate because then you have guys screaming at them like, hey, get the fuck out of here, which has nothing to do with it. And the comedian looks like shit. The theater doesn't even tell them. So you open up and you're like, bro, I don't even... Like, I've seen comedians open up to a show where they have like a 15-year-old that came with the parents. And even that is sort of like a thing they have to overcome. They have to address it. Oh, hey, there's a kid here. Mainly when talking about like comedians that speak about darker shit, right? You're going to be talking about hardcore things, and as a 15-year-old, you might feel uncomfortable. Now, imagine having a baby. I just think it's weird. I think people should be aware of where you can take a baby. I think you should be considerate to others when you have a baby. I think you have two options. There's abortion in the states that is legal. Her body, her choice. Okay? Chef Maurice, I saw you were looking at, I saw your eyes. That's one option. In the states that is legal. Or Guadalajara. Or you can embark in the beautiful journey of raising a child and making sure it doesn't bother the other humans that inhabit this fucking world. Is that too much to ask? Do you agree?
100%.
All right. So that's all I'm saying. A little bit of awareness. Can you take a kid to a festival where where there's gonna be a tribute band for Linkin Park because unfortunately this fucking kid took too many pills? Yeah, that's fine. You can take your kid there. They're gonna have this little game where they throw the little hacky sacks into like these fucking holes. I don't know what's called, but it's very known now in between the Caucasian groups.
Isn't it cornhole?
Cornhole. In my days, cornhole was a different thing. But hey, we evolve, baby. We evolve.
So one of the things I finished reading the Arch apology
Archie.
letter. He ends with, "I've nothing against babies. In fact, I was once one for almost 2 years."
Bro, that's why I like him. He's so funny, bro. He's straight up, bro. What else he say? Oh, that was it. That was the ending.
That was it. He was just, and then he just ends with being grateful for everyone that went to the show. And
bro, what a fucking legend. Now I want to go to Australia and go to a show. I have nothing against babies. I was a baby once. Bro, that's fucking great. Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, because at the end of the day, I think you should be aware enough to not take a baby to a stand-up. Do you think this happens to me a lot where like I'm in the outside world and I see people doing shit very unaware? Like when you see a group of 20-year-olds that are making a line for something and they're all clumsy as fuck. None of them have thought about what they're going to order until they get to the counter. And it's just, they're making this shit take 5 times as long. I feel like life is filled with these fucking people. And I'll be honest, as much as I'm mad at them, you look at them, they're not ill-intended. They're just fucking stupid. Like, they're not like, let me fucking, annoy the guy behind me. No, they're just like, oh my God, Stephanie, did you hear about fucking Johnny? He has AIDS. No, I don't know. Imagine Johnny has AIDS and he fucked them all. Like, damn. What do you mean? Wait, Johnny from accounting? For real? Like, he has AIDS? Like, since when?
Well, one of the things that kind of goes into that is that people don't have the feeling, right? So when people text you, you answer back and then they start sending you voice notes, like fucking 5-minute voice notes. Bitch, you could just text it. Just a little text.
But what does that to do with this?
It's just that people don't have the feeling for their surroundings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're texting. Keep texting.
Yeah.
Don't send me a voice note. Don't take your.
Yeah, I feel like you're like.
Don't call me.
I feel like you're like tricking me.
Yeah,
like you send me a message, I reply.
Like, hey.
I'm like, what's up?
Hey, are you there? And you're like, oh yeah, of course. Hi, what's up? And then you see at the top, it's like Kiko is sending a voice note.
It's recording. Yeah.
10 minutes pass and no voice note. It's like
that. Oh, that's scary, right? Well, not scary, just annoying.
Or sometimes they're like, hey, how are you? And then you answer back, you're like, oh, good. And then 2 seconds later, they're fucking calling you.
Oh, that's worst. It's
I
like
hate when people call me.
It's like, look, I'm here. Yes, I'm here, but not for this. I'm not here to hear you right now. Yeah, that happened to me. That happened to me today. Somebody wrote to me. I mean, I'm not gonna say who. I hope they don't listen to the podcast. It wasn't about No. It was cool. Like it kind of needed to be explained that way. But it was like, hey, what's up? And I'm like, hey, what's up? Bam, voice note. I'm like, what the fuck? What was that about? Why the hostility all of a sudden? Like, why do we have to now? What happened? But you know what I think? You know why I hate? Sorry, let me just finish this. I hate it when it's not. Like, I understand if you need to explain something complex to me, right? And you just need to say it in a voice. But I hate it when a motherfucker sends a voice note that you know he's just being lazy. Like, let's say you're in a group, a WhatsApp group. Like for people that are immigrants, if you have an accent, you probably have an Android, so you use WhatsApp groups. The WhatsApp group, you have like a nice little thread going between some people writing, and then somebody will send voice notes. It's like, bro, no, take the time to write your ideas. Don't be fucking lazy. They're like, yeah, I read it. No, what I think is that no, you write that. You write that down, motherfucker. Write it down.
You spend your time writing it. Now, then, what's the point of the voice note? When is the ideal time for a voice note?
I think voice notes have their place and time, right? A voice note is meant. You know what a voice note is for? A voice note is when you need to explain something too complex to be done through text, but that doesn't need the immediate attention as a call. So it's like a little perfect, like, look, let's say we're doing some business and I need to explain to you, bro, the design we're doing is going to be like this, but sort of like the choices you have are through this or here. So what I wanted you to see is this. There's things that I can explain to you a lot better speaking. I mean, there's no doubts about that. Obviously, we know that in text, a lot of nuance is lost. But let's say I want to send it to you, and then I want you to listen it in your own time. Also, I want there to be record of it. I don't want there to be like, hey, dude, what's good? Remember when I told you about? No, I don't remember about that call. What do you mean you remember about that call? Right. No, now I send you a voice note. And I took a screenshot of that and I saved it on my hard drive. And I sent that hard drive to my friend in Switzerland and he hit it.
Now, sometimes what I do is like, I'll text you and then I'll send you a voice note. But immediately after, I'm like, it was too long to write. I'll just rather send it to you by voice note. Is that what you're meaning by the laziness of the conversation?
Yeah,
sometimes I'm like, damn it, I just don't want to write this long ass and explaining everything that I have to do. I just send you a 35-second voice note.
I mean, I don't think I'll mind it, but to be honest, I don't really, in my mind, I don't see you as a voice note guy. So I don't even remember you sending me voice notes. So I don't think it's a problem. I think it's more of a profile. If you send me a voice note every once in a while, it's most likely because you're doing it in the right moment.
Right.
If you're the type of person that every day uses voice notes, then you're the annoying person in your group of friends. You're the motherfucking voice note bitch. Now, it's different. Like I have friends where, like, unfortunately, he'll send me like a 10-minute voice note. And then I'll answer him in 3 days. And then we can have this sort of relationship going about things, but it's not urgent. And you can express yourself in the words you want. But I'll get to it when I get to it. Okay?
Yeah. That's what I like about the voice note. It doesn't need to be urgent.
Yeah.
You can take your time.
So there's a place and time for it. But if we're having a dynamic conversation about something via text and you introduce a voice note, now you're violating me. Now you're abusing me by force in a manner that I don't like and that I find actually traumatizing. It reminds me of back in the day, my uncle Manolo. He had a thing for young, strong boys, and I was quite the strong one. Let's just say.
So, yeah, those are some moments where, look at your surrounding, look at what the fuck you're doing. Be smart. If you're in the line, like you said, about to start ordering pizza or a hamburger, think about your order before you start talking to Stephanie about Seville.
Right. And how cool, their tapas are. Do you know what sub you're going to get? You don't even know the type of bread you want, Stephanie. You know those people, like the waiter comes and they're like, hi, like, how does this work? Is this like a place, you make food and you sell it? What the fuck?
So I have to admit that the past couple of times that I have eaten out in a restaurant, I feel a little embarrassed because the waitress comes to us and she's like, "Oh, are you guys ready to order some drinks, some food?" And we're like, "Nope, we're doing something else more important right now than looking at the fucking menu." So I'm embarrassed to say that because it has happened to me, but I hate it. So
Well,
I
but
hate that.
when that happens, what is the thing you're doing?
Like the past couple of times that has happened in the past week, it's because I'm with a baby and I'm like trying to like calm him down so I can look at the menu and see what we can order. Or, I'm talking to my significant other about what should we give to the baby to feed him.
Okay.
But it's not like, oh, we're talking about, being chismosas and, saying all this
Right.
shit.
It's not like you guys
We're
are
doing something
eating
that,
shit, right? Like it's
right, right.
understandable. It's like, okay, you have a kid, you're handling shit.
But I must admit that I feel embarrassed that, the waitress has come to the table a couple of times and I'm like, oh no, can you give us a couple more minutes? And then a couple more minutes comes and
Do you
the
feel like
whole process.
you make it known that you're aware of how this might be inconveniencing
Yeah.
the
I
the per-
mean, 90% of the time the menu is in my hand, but I'm like talking to the baby, I'm talking to my partner and going back and forth. So I know that I should be reading the menu. I know that I have a time to be out by. Um, so I know it's an inconvenience for everyone, including the waitress.
Oh, right, and you work in the food industry, so you know about the timings and how much a table valued.
The other
Okay.
day we went to eat and we didn't have a reservation. The lady's like, "All right, it's 6:30. You have until 7:15 to get the fuck out of here." So we ate in what, basically 20 minutes. We ate everything that we had on the table because we needed to go, and we also took a long ass time ordering the food. So
Okay, do you think there you're sort of being a Stephanie and not? I mean, I think there's half and half. There's a part. I mean, and I'm just asking, right? There's a part that I'm sure has to do with the baby that's like unavoidable, right? But then are there other things like, for example, am I being proactive enough in ordering drinks, seeing what I need so that things are being moved forward while I handle this? Or am I also sort of like, oh, what the fuck? I'm unaware.
well, the thing is that I try to look at the menu as soon as I sit down to see what I want to eat. But then I forget that I also have to order drinks. And sometimes I just order like a cocktail. But I want to see what the fuck I'm drinking. Not always it has to be a beer, which could be easy enough to ask for, I don't know, a Bud Light and move on. But sometimes I want to drink a cocktail, so I want to look at the menu, and then the
Yeah,
kids,
yeah, I think you're a classic Stephanie.
yeah.
Um, yeah,
But
that's
I,
classic
I
Stephanie.
but I try to hurry up. Like I try to look at the menu and I'm like, significant other, what the fuck do you want to eat? And she's
Okay.
like, I don't know. She's a Stephanie. I'm more of like,
You're more of a Samantha.
right.
Like I have a problem where it's the opposite, right? Like I go to a place and I already looked at the menu a week before at my house. I mean, this is also
Mm,
something that maybe has to do with like a mental like
mental
disability,
disorder.
yeah, disorder. Like for example, there's this cachopo place I love that I think I took you, and I couldn't go this last Saturday. I had a reservation, which it took me a few weeks to get one, and I woke up Saturday with like a fucked up stomach, and I couldn't eat anything. Okay, so I couldn't go. And now I'm thinking of going next Saturday, and now I'm eating a bit more healthy. So I'm like, for the side, I'm already thinking maybe I can have something that's healthy. And I saw that they have grilled vegetables, so I already know what to. So when I get there,
Well, it's different because you've been there plenty of times
oh,
before.
that's
So you
true,
kind
that's
of
true.
know the menu.
I mean, and also I go to very basic places. I mean, I'm proud of them, but I'm pretty sure Chef Maurice is going to some fucking places that have like, cocktails where there's a pineapple in the shape of of a cockatoo and shit. But so I go to this place. The lady comes and sits us down. She wants to take our drinks, and I'm sure in her brain she kind of wants to take her drink so that she can continue to do other things. And I'm thinking I'm making it easier for her. I'm like, look, these are my drinks, and I know what I want to eat. And sometimes I feel like in their face they're like annoyed. They're like, oh fuck. So, and I'm like, you should be happy. Like I'm gonna be out of here before you know it. And I think they got used to me now. They know me, so when they see me, they're like, oh, this guy orders everything quick. He's out, boom, boom. So I don't know. Do you think that I'm annoying, or do you think that they see it as a good thing?
I think they see it as a good thing.
Okay, like
Most
I'm a
of,
good client.
right. Most of the servers want you in and out.
Right.
In and out. I want to know what the fuck you're eating. I don't want to have to explain every single thing in the menu. So you make your fucking decision.
And this is how I am also with anything that I'm buying. Like I'm already looking at what I want, and when I get to the thing, I'm like this, and this, boom, boom, thank you. And I almost see it in their faces. Like I remember, I was like at a Burger King once. I haven't been to Burger King in years, not because I'm healthy, it's because it's gotten quite shit in Spain. So, for the sponsors, you can take that into account. McDonald's a lot better these days. And in front of me, bro, there was this lady that she never fucking. I think she was the first time she saw what a fast food restaurant was. She was getting used to the concept, asking what combos is it. That took 20 minutes for this bitch to order. I already know what I want. I got a fucking little app with the coupons. I'm spending like $7 and I'm getting a bunch of shit to eat. This lady's spending like 47 euros. Retarded, right? Mm-hmm. She finishes ordering. I'm like, hi, can I get this one, and this one? Thank you. Boom, boom, boom. Cling, cling, cling. Bye. She looked at me and she said, thank you. She was like, wow, that took 7 seconds. That took 7 seconds. Thank you for being a decent human being. And you don't realize the type of Neanderthals that we're dealing with until you go to the outside world and you see them in a fucking, line to buy, I don't know, fucking Jamba Juice.
Yeah, the last time we went to a restaurant, we were actually going to another restaurant, but it had a 2 hour wait. And I didn't want to wait 2 hours to sit at your fucking restaurant. So I went to the one across the street. Ended up being much better. But it wasn't planned because my idea was to go to the first restaurant at first. We were just walking by the street and we saw this restaurant. In my head, I'm like, all right, if this shit is they can't see us, we'll go to this place. At least my mind was made up then just by the sign of the restaurant. I didn't know if it was French or I didn't know shit. Just by the sign of it, I'm like, all right, we're going to go here if they can't sit us. Then once they turn us down at the other place, I'm like, oh shit, okay, I got to start thinking of, what I want to eat at this place. And as soon as I saw the name, I'm like, all right, this shit is French. So I already had an idea of what I wanted. But I had to make sure the menu had what I wanted, which I see what you do looking ahead. That's why you make reservations ahead of time. And you can look at the pictures, or do you look at the menu? So you have an idea of what you're going into. But when you don't, that's where Stephanie's going to be like, what is... And then they start asking all these fucking dumbass fucking questions.
Now, I know it might seem excessive to look at the menu from, days before you go.
Months ahead, yeah.
Yeah, this is also, part of me having an addiction to food. But I'm very undecisive when it comes to ordering. So because I know this, I take the burden of doing that before I arrive. So I've made all these choices. I've made all the comparisons. And I end up, okay, we're going to do the steak. We're going to do this entree.
Do you think that's why we choose to go back to the restaurants that we know? Just because there's no burden of having to sit through the menu read and all right, so they have this, they have that, and then you have all these choices that you have to make up.
Yeah, I mean, there's a high cost for a failed restaurant, right? I mean, and an economic one too, and aside from the experience. So to me, there's too many negatives. So yeah, I mean, I'm a guy that I've been able to find a few classics that I like, and every once in a while I can try something new, but I failed enough with new things that I mean, I can see the argument to say, damn, you're missing out on so many great things because you don't try enough new things. But I also see the argument for, like I've spent enough time and money on shit that I didn't like, where I'm like, no, I can go with the ones that I like, and more I'm cooking at home and doing meals myself, and even if you're not gonna be healthy, like if you want to eat some fire shit, like right now I'm making bolognese sauce. I mean, of course, if Chef Maurice sees me doing it, he'll probably have this pointer or that. But I believe it's coming out amazing. And I'm like, there's no restaurant that could do this. Like, I'm pretty sure I could go to a place that says Italian restaurant and go and give me some bullshit that's probably not going to be it. I'm not saying, you feel me? So less and less, I'm going to go try new shit. I know how the kitchen world works. So, yeah, I mean, it's not what it's not what it seems like. So
What we should make everybody's life easier. How? I don't know. Like I don't have an answer to that, but we have to make. I think we already talked about this in another episode, but one part of the QR codes when you went to restaurants, I thought those were brilliant because one, the interaction was minimal with the waiter, and two, you could take your time to look at the app or the page and take your time and read it, and you make your own order. You don't have to be asking anyone for any explanation unless you really have, like, I don't know, maybe an allergy or whatever. But some of these QR codes made it very simple to take out stuff that you didn't want or add stuff that you wanted, versatile. And to me, if I could bring one thing back from the pandemic era, it's definitely the QR code in the restaurant. I don't have to, deal with the waiter every 2 minutes. Like, are you ready? Are
well,
you
when
ready?
you say you would bring it back, meaning we don't.
I would have it in every single restaurant.
Oh, you mean it's not the case anymore?
I don't think so. No.
But when you say
most of the
QR
restaurants-
code, I think you actually, because for example, in here in Spain, the QR code was just a menu. What you're telling
Right.
me is a little bit more interactive. So the QR code not only allowed you to see the menu, but you could even order through it.
Right.
Okay.
There's a restaurant I went to. It's a restaurant / bar, and you can order the drinks, you can order the snacks, you can order the food from the page, and then, like I said, you have minimal interaction with anyone. Just
Yeah.
the person who's bringing you the food, and then they're like, "Do you want ketchup or hot sauce?"
I mean, and then at the end of it all, they still come and ask you, do you want to leave a tip?
yeah, like a 25% tip.
Yeah, because that's the type of fraud that they do. I'm sorry, if you're a waiter, do your thing, I guess.
I may become a waiter.
Yeah,
I
me
don't know.
too. Me too, but in Spain they don't
Money's
tip.
crazy.
Now, would I like them to tip in Spain a little more? Yes. Is it necessary to tip 25% of the cost? What the fuck? Did you build a fucking restaurant?
Yeah.
And there's like videos of waiters online. They're like, you don't even know the world. Like this is like what we do. Like this is our pay our living. And like,
So how do you feel? Let me give you some, like, a little story. I've been to, well, the restaurant I was telling you about that I went over the weekend. They treated us very nicely. They're like, all right, you have 45 minutes to an hour to eat. You gotta get the fuck out. But they treated us very, very nicely. They gave us time to look at the menu. They gave us stuff for the kid. The food was very good. So what I did was I gave them a good tip, 20%, which is a lot still. But and then I put a little note in the bottom of the ticket. I'm like, great food, great service. Thank you so much. I think that was nice, right?
yeah, I mean, I guess I also have to put in perspective. In the U.S., you kind of have like to sign sometimes, right? You sign the credit card and then you can write something. And I think it's a lot more common in the U.S. to do that. Here, that's like an unknown thing. Like you rarely get a ticket back that you have to sign. Now, let's say I live in the U.S. and I see that. I'm like, oh, that's nice. You leave a nice tip. You like the place. A little gay.
Okay.
Like if I was the guy getting the tip, I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. Okay, yeah. He is yeah, he's pretty gay, like I thought.
All right.
So
In this case, it was a waitress.
like a girl.
A girl.
How would you? Oh, because if it's a guy's a waiter.
A waiter. Right.
Like, what if it's like a non-binary? You're a busboy. Is that a thing anymore, or is that like misogynistic?
A busboy?
Yeah,
A bus girl?
bus girl. Oh, they're all okay.
I guess. A bus day.
This is always
them.
like towards the end of the podcast is where we kind of fuck it up.
Yeah.
And completely,
We're
yeah,
doing
like,
good and then
yeah. Let's talk about where trans comes from, man. all right. Okay, so I guess for people, just be a little more aware of others, right? Don't put your feet in the seat at the train. Like just be a decent human being, right? Is that too much to ask?
Don't bring your kid to a comedy show.
Yeah, just don't bring your kid anywhere. You have a kid, you stay home from that moment onwards.
Maybe
You
she
know?
thought she was saving a few bucks. She was bringing the kid, no babysitter. The ticket was free. You know, whatever
Bad.
I was spending on the babysitter, I can spend in drugs and alcohol.
Right. She was probably drugged out of her mind. That's the other thing. To be so unaware of your kid there. And that's really the problem with the fentanyl crisis that we're having. Okay? Which in San Francisco, they know a lot of. Chef Maurice, direct
Sir
connection.
Kiko. Yep.
Oakland, they'll be soon gone to another state. I think they're gonna be playing for a year somewhere else before they go to Nevada. So yeah, pretty rough season for the Oakland Athletics. No more Oakland. Much love, and that's it.